Welcome to Deep Notes. You are entering a restricted space, dedicated to signal, not noise.
Let's be clear, this isn't about passing a whiteboard interview. The concepts we are about to dissect, they're not academic theories. They are the fundamental governing physics of the digital environment you operate in. And understanding them, well, it's a matter of system survival. Here's our operational sequence. First, the physics of survival. Then, the structures of time, the memory footprint, and finally, the trade-off. To begin, we have to reframe the problem. You see, data isn't inert. It's a kinetic force. Your algorithms, they're the containment structures you have to build to control it. Think of it this way. An inefficient algorithm is a flawed structure. It's a wall of glass. Under the pressure of scale, it's not going to bend. No, it's going to shatter. But our performant algorithm, that's obsidian, formed under pressure, stable, and completely invariant to the chaotic force of the data flowing against it. So let's analyze the architectural blueprints. These are what we call the complexity classes. And make no mistake, each one is a choice with direct physical consequences for your system. This is the ideal state, O1, or constant time. Here, the latency of an operation is completely disconnected from the volume of the data. The magma can scale to infinity, but the fortress doesn't even feel the heat. This is the absolute gold standard of system stability. So how is this even possible? It's all about direct access. The best analogy is a code check. You get a token, a key. The attendant doesn't search every code. They go directly to the hook specified by the token. This is a hash map lookup. The system doesn't search. It uses the key to compute a memory address and simply materializes at the correct location. Next, we have ON, linear time. Now, here, the cost is directly proportional to the input. If you double the data, you double the work. It's predictable, sure. It's mechanical labor. Your system becomes a conveyor belt inside an infinite tunnel, scanning every single item that passes. This is your brute force baseline. It's like trying to find a page in a book without an index. You have to scan every page one by one. The physical length dictates the processing time. A simple for loop is the classic example. It's fair, it's exhaustive, and it becomes dangerously slow as n grows.
Now we get to O log n, logarithmic time. This isn't brute force. This is precision. The core principle here is divide and conquer. You don't scan, you eliminate massive sections of the problem space with every single operation. Imagine a binary laser cutter just slicing away all the irrelevant data. You know the classic example, searching a sorted phone book. You open it to the middle. If your target is in the second half, you just discard the entire first half. In one step, you eliminated half the data universe. With every single cut, the search space just implodes. This is how systems handle massive scale efficiently. Okay, now we enter the kill zone, ON squared, or quadratic time. Here, the complexity doesn't come from the data itself. It comes from the connections between the data. Every element has to interact with every other element. The whole system becomes an attention matrix of intersecting lasers. Typically, this is caused by nested loops over the same collection. You know, think of the handshake problem. In a room of n people, the number of handshakes isn't n, it's much, much more. The complexity is in the interactions. And as n grows, that room just overheats with friction. So what's the physical result here? What happens when the density of those connections saturates all the available space? When the intersecting beams of the attention matrix reach critical intensity? The glass wall shatters. The system collapses under the quadratic weight of its own internal complexity. Beyond collapse, there's annihilation. This is O to the n, exponential time. And this isn't just rapid growth. This is uncontrollable consumption. Every new element doubles the required operations. It's a computational infection, a fractal virus consuming all available resources. Just observe the sequence. A naive recursive function to calculate a Fibonacci number is a perfect, terrifying example. To calculate f of 4, it has to branch into f of 3 and f of 2. And each of those branches out again. The number of calls doubles at every level. This isn't scaling. This is a system literally consuming itself. This is the end game. But time isn't the only cost. An algorithm that's fast but wasteful is just another kind of liability. We also have to account for the memory footprint. See, an algorithm pays its debts with two different currencies, CPU cycles, which is time complexity, and RAM, which is space complexity. One measures the cost of calculation, the other measures the cost of storage. You have to optimize for both.
I want you to visualize an inefficient algorithm as a factory. With every operation, it creates temporary variables, unnecessary copies of data. This is just computational waste. This garbage accumulates until the system has no more clean memory to operate in. It suffocates on its own waste products.
Which brings us to our final matrix. Algorithmic design isn't about finding some perfect, elegant solution. It's about making calculated engineering trade-offs, all based on these physical laws. So here it is, the risk assessment. O of 1 and O of log n are stable states. O of n is manageable, but it needs monitoring. O of n squared is a critical failure condition. And O of 2 to the n, that's a fatal error. There's no recovery. Your job is to map your code to this matrix.
This is the core principle. What you're seeing on the screen isn't some abstract philosophy. It is a law of physics for our environment. You will be forced to choose. You might sacrifice memory for more speed. You might sacrifice precision for raw performance. These aren't failures. They are the calculated, deliberate decisions of an engineer. You have been given the physical models. This is your roadmap. It's how you navigate the hard constraints of computational physics. Trust the logic. Build the system.